even to start the game, we had really clean looks, really clean looks. You know, so again, it's just kind of in that piece of the game that's tough. You know, we had Michaela right out of the gates with a wide open three. We had a high-low look. You know, just to get on the board, get some momentum and get going and sort of play off the crowd today was what our goal was. But I'm pleased with how we kept shooting. You know, we kept playing for the most part. But yeah, they're a good team. I give them a lot of credit. They're playing well as a team, and they know who they are. You know, they pick and pop your bigs, and you know, run motion, and then they get you off balance for a second. And that is a tough way to defend them with our big players the way that they are.
Kirsten Harden came off the bench and gave you some solid minutes, finished with 10 points, really played well down the stretch for you. You like to see that from the freshmen when you go into the tournament. You want to have those extra bigs playing well, especially in the way that your team is playing the high-low game right now.
Yeah, and you know, she can score fast. You know, when you're down, you need buckets fast, and you either do that, you know, with a high ball screen to the rim, you know, kick in, kick out, and we're still having to figure that out a little bit, but I do think we made some adjustments towards the end of the game, and it was good to see them try it and go for it. And then also we knew Kirsten could score points in a hurry, but she's got to play both ends of the floor. That's a key for us. Bring energy, bring practice energy, practice reps, and those are things she's learning, but I think it's February now, and she's made some big strides that way. I was proud of her.
She has made a lot of big strides. One number that jumps out to me that I've seen a lot of this year, and I like the way it looks, is the free throw percentage. Your team is getting to the line and really settling up there and knocking down those free throws.
Yeah, you know, that's something we've talked about. We were last in the conference a couple weeks back at 60%, and I just was like, you guys, we've got to get focused, and when you get to the line, you got to convert at the line. That gives us extra points, extra momentum. It stops the clock when you're down. So those types of things are important. And you know, for as many hand checks or straight line drive calls we get, we've got to do the opposite or do the same that other teams are doing to us, which is get to the free throw line. And so that's been an important thing. You know, getting inside touches really helps us too, because you can get the inside touch and you can draw fouls that way as well.
I thought there were a lot of fouls called in this game. Some of them seemed to break momentum for both teams, really. There was just a lot of fouls called against each team. The officials, usually down the stretch, I thought would let these two teams play a little bit more, but there were a lot of hand check fouls that I thought they were calling.
Yeah, I think there's, you know, the game, we're trying to open it up with freedom of movement, and I do think it's pretty inconsistent. That's still a learning curve, it seems like. But I also think, you know, with aggressiveness, you're going to get a little bit more foul calls, and I think, you know, our team's pretty aggressive for the most part, and so are they.
4 games remain, 2 on the road, 2 at home, and it's a tough stretch. We talked about it pregame, but you get an Idaho team on the road next, and then at Eastern Washington. 2 tough teams, different styles of play. But let's talk about that road trip right now.
Yeah, I think you know, Idaho's playing really well. And they know they have a great identity, and they play to their identity. One of the things they do so well is their defending, but part of that is because they don't beat themselves. You know, they take care of the ball. They don't give you easy layups off of their turnovers. You know, they play shot clock when they need to. They play possession games, so they're playing at a good pace. We're still learning how to play that way. You know, our young kids. You know, even today at halftime, we talked about the end of the half, like how do you finish the half with one shot? We finished a quarter and we shot an early shot. So, you know, we've talked about it, but until they actually get in there and do it is like when it's coming to that understanding. So I think Idaho does that well, and we're going to have to really score the basketball, keep working on how to score it, empowering our kids to take shots. You know, that's all they can do. You can just empower them, and we can get boards and try to get on the glass in the free throw line, try to play a little bit tougher defense to get in the passing lane. So we'll need to do that against Idaho. And against Eastern, you know, most of the time they've been playing zone. They're playing a little bit better. We had a great game at home versus them, so hopefully, you know, our team will remember that and really focus in to move the ball through the zone. It's not as much pressure, which is good for us. So hopefully, inside out, offensive rebounds, beat it before it sets up, and we'll go for it. We'll be ready.
All right, Coach. Final thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. You know, it's a long season, and you know, we haven't had the success we wanted and so far, but we're not going to quit, and I'm not going to quit. I believe in these kids. I see them in their best selves, and every game I think about them what they can be, and I think sometimes they don't believe who they can be. And we have a really good team and good kids. You know, they're great in the community, and I think the most important thing is that each week we just keep growing, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
Well, you pass on to them in the locker room that I believe in them too. This is only the second part of the season. They go to that third part of the tournament.
Yep.
This is just seeding for that. They can go in there and make a big run and really surprise some people if they play the way they can.
Without a doubt.